Hi, hello and welcome. This is Helen at Pompom Ohmm. For those who've been following us for the week, we are actually on day 4 now. Could be getting a bit repetitive at this point, but again, just don't watch them the whole way through. I'm not expecting anybody to do that. Just have a look at where we start, have a look at where we end, just to give you an idea, really, of what we can make, and also what you can help us to design, because really it is about what you can imagine and what you want to create. So we've done 2 over the last 2 days, which were for I'd say more for children. One was for baby, one was for a child's bedroom. So we're going to do one for an adult celebration now today. So the colours I've picked, I like this plate. So we've got black and gold on the plate. It's looking a bit brown, and I think that's because of the sun, but it still is black and gold. So I've picked our thick black pom. I've picked our golden yellow. Now, it's a wool version of gold, so I don't pretend that this is a properly metallic gold wool. It's not, but it is the best thing we have to gold instead of a yellow. And then my old favourite, the sparkly white. We have normal white, but bit of sparkle. So I've basically picked my poms there. I've got ready for us 24, which is normal amount for. I keep calling them these small poms, but actually there are medium poms really. But in the wreaths we tend to do large or medium, so I keep calling these small. Anyway, so we've got our wreath here, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach 2 rows going the whole way around. And now you can ask us to design this as a pattern, a repeating pattern the whole way through. I just, as a preference, I just prefer to do them, arrange them randomly. It's just a preference, and that is why we are Design Your Own, so that you can pick rather than I pick. So yeah, just the usual, starting in the normal way, but this time the last few we've done have been large poms going in the middle in 1 row all the way around. What we're doing here is we're actually doing 2 rows. So rather than anchoring them into the middle like we have been doing, if you haven't watched any of the others, then that's absolutely fine. You don't need to have. But for this wreath, you are literally going around the inside ring, and you're just tying 2 knots and leaving the end there. So you're working your way round. I tend to not go straight next to it. I tend to go with a little gap. It's just so they sit nicer together. So you're working your way round the wreath. This is usually the quicker part of how we do this, what we do, but because it's a 2-ring wreath with medium poms, it does take a little bit longer to do. So it will take, the others have taken us 10 minutes to tie on, and then the rest of the time's all been going on. What's the word? It's gone. It's all been going on adding embellishments. That's where all the time seems to be disappearing to. So but I'd say that you're probably going to spend more of your time on this one actually tying them on. Okay, so I've got slightly less of the gold, just so that it's a bit more of a statement colour as opposed to being everywhere. We've got a bit more of the black, a bit more of the white, so again, you just, if you're doing this yourself at home, from one of our kits, great. If it's not from one of our kits, also absolutely fine. So you're just gonna sort of choose your pattern, really, and decide how often you need these gold ones to fit in, because you don't want to end up with loads of gold ones in one place and none everywhere else. So yeah, so you'll just need to kind of do it by eye, or if it's a kit from us, we can help you with where they need to go, if you're not quite that confident to just put them really haphazardly like I am. So yeah, there's options there. So there we are. We just keep going round, deciding sort of how. We've got 7 gold here, so kind of you need at least 4 one side and 3 the other to really make this balance. So yeah, and your black and whites, you kind of, you're going to end up with some black next to each other and some white next to each other. But just, judge it as you go. Just you'll be able to see what you like. And as I said, if you're going to struggle with that, then we can help you there. But yeah, so that's what we got so far. So yeah, you can either do it randomly, or you can do 1 black, 1 white, 1 black, 1 white. It really is gonna be up to you. Let's get another golden one in there. Obviously with your golds and also with your blacks and whites, really make sure that you are alternating them as to whether they're on the inside or the outside, because once you come to hang this, you'll probably notice where you've got too many on the outside ring or too many on the inside ring. So yeah, we're just going to keep working our way round this wreath. I'm quite liking here where we've got white black, and I'm not really liking where I've got these 2 white together. So because we've only tied it to one side, I'm just going to slide that across, so that I can add in another black there. Just because once I started this wreath, I've decided I quite like them. Black, white, black, white, black, white. But you might want something different, so let us know. We are Design Your Own. So as I said, keep going all the way around. It is going to take a little bit longer and a bit more patience to tie on, because you're not doing 12, you're doing 24. So there we are. So we've gone black there, we've got white here. There we go. Again, I'm not particularly editing this video, mostly so that if you really want to, you can do it in real time alongside us. However, most of you won't be doing that. So just fast forward to where you need to go. If you're here just to have a look at what we've made, then by all means go straight to the end, see what we've done by the time we got to the end. If you're kind of following it along but you don't want it in real time, then again just jump through it to where you need to be. If you've been watching us the past few days, it could be getting a bit samey, so please don't get bored. Just watch only what you can be bothered to, and come back to it another time. We are just trying to get up these videos so that you've got something to see what we are actually doing, making, what our options are. Yeah, so basically we are Design Your Own. We've come up with our own designs that we think you'll probably like, but we also you also can start completely from scratch. You don't have to have one of our designs at all. Or if you like one of our designs but you think you could improve it actually, then that's great. Just bob your details onto one of our Design Your Own. or if you don't quite want to design your own, but you know roughly what you'd like, then just send us a general inquiry off our website. This is going up on Facebook as well, so on Facebook you will be able to click straight through to our website, and that's where you'll be able to order them quite easily. We're not doing like an instant shop, simply because, you know, we are more of a design your own, and we really want you to be able to pick what you want. So we are using an order form, which will hopefully give you a bit more a lot more personalisation than just a shop. Okay, right, we're getting there now. So yeah, let's just get our last gold one in there. Got another black to go in here. Ooh. Yeah, the only problem with this thick black is it really is quite thick wool that you're tying, and you can kind of lose the end of your threads because you're not sure. They're just so thick. Right, I think we need definitely another one in there. Just because that gold one is that little bit thinner. So yeah, let's put another white in there. Okay, and then we've got our last black here, so we'll put that next to the white, and then I think we are actually going to need just one white next to a white. But what we'll do is we'll pop that at the top, so it's like the most unusual. It's the most unusual section, so we'll make a point of it by putting that towards the top, rather than just pretending it didn't stick at the bottom. Okay, so there you are. We're gonna tie that one onto there, but just so that I can show you a neater job really of putting your hanging loop on. Well, we're actually going to do your hanging loop now rather than at the end, and because we've got two whites right at the top, we are actually going to just use white to tie it with. Same as always, if you've seen this before. If you haven't seen this before, not a problem. You're just going to keep looping a section of wool. You want at least 8, so that's 6, 7 and 8. Okay, I say 8 because it makes quite a nice chunky loop, but you can choose less, more. It's totally up to you really. Okay, so yeah, so there's the loop like we've done in the past. If you haven't seen it before, great. This is your first time, not a problem. You're going to bring the loopy ends together and don't cut them. That's important. And then you've got your big loop this end. So lots of little loops, big loop this end. Okay, you're going to put that through into the gap where you haven't put your pom on. Okay, this just makes it easier to work with. So you're going to pull your loop end through, and you are going to your scraggly end, your really loopy end, you're going to pull towards the middle of the wreath. So you've got your proper loop at the top and your scraggly loop at the bottom. Then you're going to do another knot, just because we always do too. Stops it coming back off really, and make sure it's properly in the right place. And then again, it's really important you have your scraggly ends towards the middle and your proper loopy end, and then pull it as tight as you possibly can. Slide it to the middle of that section. You've got your loopy end already on now. Now we just need to deal with this scraggly end. We're not just going to cut it off, because we can make it look neater than that. So we're going to get our spare ball of wool again. That's hiding by my feet. Okay, so we got a spare ball of wool. Going to cut off a sort of reasonable length. Doesn't need to be massive for this really, but just reasonable length. you're going to take it through each of the loops. You'll have seen this before on the last video, unless you know, obviously if you haven't seen the last video, then we're just starting each one from scratch, so that it doesn't matter what you've seen and what you haven't. Anyway, so you're going to go through the loops, and you've got your piece of wool through your loops. Then you're going to go under the middle ring of your wreath, and you're just literally going to tie another knot. But as you tie that knot, you will have trapped all of your scraggly bits down onto that white one. So where it looked like it was a mistake that we had two white together, actually it's going to look quite neat, because you've ended up with all your scraggly bits onto the white pom, and you won't even see them. Don't cut them off yet, we'll sort all that out later. Now you've got your loop in place, it's quite nice to put the last pom over it. So you're going to go underneath that loop, and you're just going to do your normal. You're just going to tie it over the top of that knot that you've made. Okay, so there we are. Right, and then so this is how far we've got now. We've got our gold, got black, white, gold wreath. You could skip the white altogether, just go black and gold. I mean, it really is up to you. I've got a habit of putting white in everything, but again, you decide, really. It's totally up to you. Yeah, so we got this far, and we've got all these scraggly ends. We are going to end up with more scraggly ends in a bit, so if you want to just leave them, that's fine, but I like to just tidy up as I go. So I'm just going to tie them. All I'm doing is tying one next to its partner. Okay, double knot, always double knot, and then cutting it off. The reason I don't just cut them straight off is because if you want to take them off, or if you want to do something different with them, or they fall off, which they really shouldn't, but you know, they could, that little bit extra of wool will help you if you need to move them or do anything with them. With these wreaths where there's two rows, I quite like to tie them diagonally. So I've just gone from a gold that's on the middle to a white that's on the outside, but it isn't totally opposite. It's diagonal to it. So just so that you're kind of anchoring them all into place, really, aren't you? So. Again, our incredibly thick black, we're going to take that to the gold. You know, I think this would actually probably look very nice, probably nicer, just black and gold. So yeah, let me know what you think. And of course we can do that. We can do black and gold. Okay. So. Sorry, I'm just quickly tying all these off. You can take your time. You don't, no need to rush if it's your own one that you're doing. But yeah. So I'm hoping that with these series of videos that we are sort of covering a range of what's on offer, what we can do. Obviously, we can pretty much do whatever you would like. So yeah, as long as it's got poms on it, we can probably give it a go. If you saw our first video, we attached poms to a mirror. We can do that pretty much with whatever, you know. So again, just let us know. So we are trying to show you like different things. We've shown you a mirror. We've shown you a bedroom door sign for a children's room. We've shown you a single large pom wreath. So it was just in one row with large poms, and this one is a medium pom wreath. I keep calling them small. Medium pom wreath in 2 rows. Okay, so slightly different. You know, it's a bit repetitive to what you've already seen, but it is different. A different style of wreath to what the other one was. So, I mean, I've said in the previous video, but if you haven't seen it, no problem. So if we're going to be doing a series of videos at the moment just for our opening week of Pompom Ohmm, and we are hoping that after that we can continue to show you what we're making, but we're gonna aim to do it once a week, because we don't want to oversaturate you with pom-pom videos. We're doing these in a series, obviously, because we'd like to be able to show you a good range of what we can offer you. Okay, so here we have got 2 rows of poms. Now you'll notice this second row is flopping all over the show, and it's only that middle row that's looking good. So this is where we need to tie off our poms. Now you can do this with glue if you want to. That's fine. You can do it with hot melt glue. You can do it with a bit of super glue, but I would really watch your fingers, because you can't guarantee that it's not going to go straight through the wool and onto your hands. So I would really recommend hot melt glue for when you're doing wool, directly wool to wool. I would recommend hot melt glue. So yeah, but we're not going to use a huge amount of glue on this. In fact, we're going to use very little, just enough to attach our middle. So yeah, right, so what we want to do is we want to I'm just going to check our plate. It's not really going to show much of the design on there, but that's fine. We can always tweak it. Okay, so you're going to get the same colour of wool as what pom you're on, and you're just going to cut off nice lengths, enough length that you can work easily with to go round the wreath and tie. So we're going to turn our wreath back over again, and what we're going to do is we're looking for whites that are, that are diagonal to each other, next to each other, so that we can tie them both together. Okay, so you're gonna anchor it back on like you've done with the wreaths that are large poms that sit in the centre. So if you haven't done that, then what I mean by anchoring it on is you start with both your wool either side of the ring, so one in the middle, one on the outside, and then you go in through the middle of this, so not the middle of the actual wreath, but the middle of the 2 tracks of metal. You go inside and outside, and that creates 2 loops. Okay, and with this, you want to make sure that your loops are roughly around the middle of your 2 poms that you're intending to tie tighter on, because if not, they're not really going to be doing what they should be doing. So pull it really tight. Okay, you can check the other side, see how it's brought them both together a lot tighter than it was before. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You want this to all come together really tightly, but you also want to make sure you're not seeing that piece of wool that is tying those together. Okay, so pull it as tight as you can, and then just same as always, two knots to secure it into place. You'll sometimes see me doing an extra one. It's because I can't remember how many knots I've done. Don't chop it off yet. We're going to go back around and do that again. So I'm going to stick with the same colour of wool. I know what I've done because I got my scraggly bits there. So I'm just going to keep going now with tying the white ones tighter. So where I can do 2 together, I will. Where I can't, it doesn't matter. I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm going to do these 2 here together, as long as I can get a good sort of grip on them. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go through the middle of the 2 tracks. I'm going to come out the other side. So I've looped it round, and I'm going to do that again on the other side. Okay. And then I'm pulling as tight as I can so that it's pulling this in, okay? And then nice double knot to keep it into place, okay? All right, and then obviously this white isn't really, I mean, I could pretend it was attached to that, but it probably would pull it into the wrong place. So all I'm going to do there is take it around the white. Now I'm going to take it around the white, but then I've got to make sure it doesn't trap this gold, because what you don't want is that white going over the gold, because it'll you'll see it basically, and you don't really want to. So yeah, so you've gone round the white, you've come up through the gold so that you can't see it. Okay, you're gonna do the same again. You're gonna go in through it, in through the 2, between the 2 rows, out through the other side. Do that again if you can find the middle, because at this point your wool will be disguising your wreath, because the tighter you pull these, the less of this wreath you're going to actually see. So yeah, so again, pull it nice and tight. Yeah, you want to be making sure that it is actually going across the middle really of this pom, otherwise it's not actually doing the good that it should be doing. Okay, so yeah, so pull tight, and again 2 knots. Just check you haven't gone over this gold, which you clearly haven't, and that you can't see the wool that you're tying tighter. So this one I'm gonna attempt to do 2 together. With if it looks odd, you can just cut it off and do it again. It isn't a huge, you're not going to spoil it by pulling 2 together that you shouldn't have pulled together. So I'm checking again that it's not going over those blacks, and then I'm going through the middle of the 2 out to the other side, and again on this side I'm going through the middle and out the other side. So oh no, I'm not. I've done what I said we shouldn't do. I've accidentally let it drop off this white one, so we need to make sure that it is going round the pom, because otherwise it just isn't doing the job that it should be doing, because it's not going to pull them tighter together if it hasn't got any wool to take a grip of. So yeah, so again, make sure your bottom knot is tight, because it'll only be as tight as your bottom knot. Okay, it doesn't matter how tight your top knot is. If your bottom knot has come loose, then it isn't going to pull it in. Okay, we've just got these two to do. Okay, these 2 we're going to have to do them individually. So yeah, make sure again that you're not trapping this gold or this black, and then you're anchoring it into place. Even when we're not doing 2 in one go, we still anchor it on both sides. So, and then we pull, and anchoring it on both sides means that when you pull it in tightly, so that you're making this nice neat parallel row. Okay, we've got one left there to do. Okay, so again, make sure you've actually gone round the white one that you wanted to go round, because sometimes they just come loose. Yeah, again, tighten it into place where you want it to be, both sides. Give it a really good pull, and then tie it off, making sure that bottom one doesn't come loose. Okay, so now you can see where what we've done here, we've tightened all these white ones in, so which is now you can really see where we haven't tightened the others in. So I'm just gonna find the wall colours. I need to find another black, and I need to find another gold so that we can carry on tying that. So just give me a moment, because I always forget to get the extra wool ready for you. I always tend to leave that. Now I've trapped the blacks where I can't reach them, so I put them away thinking it'd be for Halloween. Right, got it. So that's a black. And then let's just go around here and get you a gold, a spare gold. That's not gold, that's grey. Okay. So they're always at the bottom. You can see my workspace has become absolute chaos in the background because I've been making wreaths for days. So yeah, you can see that I'm making a right mess here. Yeah, so the state of my living room aside, we've now got our gold. So it's the same again. Your golds aren't going to be next to each other, so you're going to have to do all of these individually. And like I said, it's the tying of this project that makes it the long-windedness, rather than adding loads of embellishments. So again, at this point you can choose to tie your whites together so that you can see what you're doing better, but I'm not going to, because I want to tie them at the end. So again, get your gold on, check you've not gone across your black and your white and that you can't see it, and then yeah, you just same again. Look, so I'm just going to carry on tying these and try and talk to you less, but to be honest, as you can probably tell, I am a nervous chatter and a giant chatterbox, so sorry that I am constantly whittering at you. Okay. So I'm nearly there with the gold now. Got last one, the first one I did was there, so I've got three more to go. Okay, right. That's actually the last gold that I'm putting on there. So as I said, they slip back, and you just want to make sure you've got it in the middle, because otherwise it's just really not doing. It's not doing the job that you need it to be doing, really. Okay, so there we go. We've caught more of the gold there. Okay, so last but not least, we have got this black. Now, very soon we are hoping to get a thinner black as well. Obviously there's loads of thinner black wools out there, but in order for me to offer it to you as a choice, I need to have pre-made a certain amount of poms, so that it's so you haven't got too long to wait, really, between ordering it and me turning it into a creation. So yeah, so right, what have we got? We've got two ends going on here. Let's put that in there. Right, so we are using our thick wool. Now, it's perfect for Halloween. It's not so perfect for maybe this style of wreath. So I'm hoping to get a thinner one on the go really soon, to be honest. So yeah, so like these two blacks here, they're next to each other, which makes it handy. So we're going to flip it back over again, because we are using such a thick black wool, which isn't ideal for what we're doing here. When you pull it tight onto your two blacks, for a start, make sure, because your blacks are your last ones to go in now, make sure you're really pushing them in so that they're in line with all of the others. And also make sure, right, that when you've pulled it sort of tight, turn it over, have a look, where is your string running, and if you can see it, just make sure you fluff your poms round it so that you can't see it, because it's such a thick wool that you really don't want to be seeing that string going across the two of them, because it really won't look as good as you could make it. So yeah, so nice and tight, really pulling tight, because you want it to be in line with all these other ones that you've put on now. These blacks are the last ones to slot into place. Okay, so again, these two blacks, they can pull together, so you can do those two at the same time. Obviously you'll find where you can do 2 at the same time it is quicker. But if you're not aiming for quick, you're just aiming for as good as you can possibly make it, then that's fine. You can take your time about putting these on. And as I said, pull it as tight as you can, turn it around and have a look. And just make sure you've not got a great big line going across there, okay? And then again, wrap around here. And tie it off, okay? Yeah. Okay, again, these two, they can be tied together, they're close enough that you're now pulling them all the way in together. So, okay, again, do exactly the same again, put it across diagonally, push them down into the row, make sure they're in rows, in lines here now. And turn it over, see what you've got. Make sure you can't see a great big line. And then it's all coming together in these nice two rows, because with doing 2 rows, you do want it to look like 2 neat rows. You know, we do have the option of doing wreaths that use 3 different sizes, and we deliberately put those on randomly so they don't end up in neat rows. But with this, we aim for a neat row. Well, 2 neat rows, in fact. So we've already done these 2 poms here. We've just got this loose one on its own, and with these 2 here. Across, pull it tight, have a look. Again, I can see it there this time. You haven't been able to see it yet, but yeah, fluff them around it. There we are. Okay. And as I said, I really do think this wreath would look better actually with black and gold, just black and gold. I'm not sure it needs the white particularly on this. I love to add white, but I don't think this needs it, I really don't. So there we go. Just this one loose black now. So you really need to push it in at this point because it is coming together very tightly, and it doesn't quite want to go in that neatly. So obviously this one is the only black one you've tied alone. So very thick string. Make sure you know that you have pulled it round so it's at the front and that the string is going between them. You do not want this really thick string going over the top of one of your lovely whites or golds. And again, just anchor it on like we've been doing the whole way round. So that should be nice and tight. Just make sure that it has gone across the middle, because otherwise you're not doing the job that you want it to be doing, really. Okay, so just turn it over. You'll notice you've now got 2 quite tight together rows. That's what we're aiming for. And you just give it a fluff so that you can see exactly what you have got going on here. Any loose threads, don't be tempted to pull them out at this point. You're going to cut them instead, because if you pull them out, you're just going to make the pom, you're going to have less wool in the pom and it's more likely to be able to unravel. So you don't want to pull loose threads, you want to chop them. Unless they're just literally coming out in your hand, in which case pull it out. Okay, so here we are. This is our 2-rowed black and gold and a bit of white that I kind of think should not have put in at this point. Yeah, so we're gonna do what we've done the whole way round. We're just gonna literally tie them off together. Make sure when you're pulling them now that you are tying tight knots, but that you're not pulling the wool so hard that the poms come back out from when they are. You know, you want your poms to stay in place at this point. You're not going to attach them any tighter by pulling them too hard together at this point. You've just already done that in the last step. So yeah, you're not really pulling them at this point. You're just tying them off so that they're not loose, scraggly ends. Doesn't mean that your knot's not tight. I just mean don't yank them, because you'll pull them out of their rows. So let's make sure we are getting all of the ends of these bits of wool. I always end up with one loose one, but just take your time, and you'll we do offer make your own kits as well. So you design what colours you like, and then you get sent a kit. You can have ready-made poms, you can have no poms whatsoever, and we can send you the pom maker, and you can just start from scratch. We don't send the little sharp scissors to anyone really under the age of 18, just because they are sharp, and we don't really want to take responsibility for somebody doing damage with themselves. It's not so much that they're sharp blades, they're very sharp at the end. You could do damage really, and I've whilst making poms, I've come off the end and attacked my own thumbs with them. So you have got to be careful. Obviously, if it is for somebody under 18 and we don't send you scissors, you can use a good pair of normal scissors. It's just that the fine points kind of help you get into when you're cutting round a pom, kind of help that. So yeah, there we are. We are very close to being done. I know this has been a slightly longer, actually very much longer, tying on process than we have with the others, but it's just because basically you've done 24 poms instead of 12. You've doubled what we have been doing. So yeah, right, okay, we've tied that the whole way round. We've tied that the whole way round. We've already put our hanging loop on there. So we've done the main part of this wreath that we've got going on here. Okay. This is the point where you can really get rid of those scraggly ends that are doing your head in. We don't pre-trim these. We trim them. We always trim them once we've put them on the actual wreath. Simply because until you put them on the wreath, you don't know what bits are straggly and what bits are kind of hidden between them. So we don't spend a huge amount of time tidying up all of the poms until we get them onto their wreaths, and that's when we do the real sort of tidy and get rid of the most offensive. I mean, I'm not going to over trim this whilst I'm talking to you, because it'll waste your time, and this video is long enough already. So, but I would trim that further before selling it. So there is your wreath. Okay, now the last thing I was going to show you on this is simply that you can very quickly turn this into a celebration wreath. So we've got a couple of options. I've got a plate here that is black and gold. It says "Let's celebrate." Now, when you put that in the middle, you're probably only going to see the gold writing there. Oops, sorry, I'm not really showing that to you. Yeah, you're just seeing that the "Let's celebrate." I mean, you could do this as a single large wreath, and we could have more of the plate showing. Obviously, we don't ever put the plate on the top. The plate would be underneath, but you would see more of this geometrical, isn't it? That's what they call it, geometrical pattern. So that's an option. Okay. Rather than a paper plate, I mean, we really don't recommend these for going outside for very long at all. If this was going on your door to say "party here," We wouldn't recommend a paper plate, but we have got like a silvery sparkly one, which could go in the middle there, and then we can put some text on that for you. The other option we've got is these. They're basically badges. You just buy them in your local card shop, but we're putting those in the middle there. So obviously that one says it's my birthday, yay. We've also got, you know, name badges, so that would go in the centre there. We push these right in so that you can see the full. You're not going to see the edge because that's not what we want, but you will see the more of the 50. If you were going for Let's Celebrate, we have got small age badges that you can just put on. I'm holding this upside down, but so you can just put on maybe at the bottom or to the side to let people know what age the person is, if it's a big age. Obviously, if it isn't, you can just go with Let's Celebrate. So the one last badge I wanted to show you, which is the one that I'm actually going to stick in here, is already black and silver actually, and it's got a bit of gold on there as well. So, but it's one of these ones where you can put your own age on, so it really doesn't matter, you know, how old or whether or not the person wants their age on there. So you might not want to put an age on there. Anyway, so that's your badge. This is the one we're actually going to use. I'm not going to put an age on there because then somebody could pick their own age, basically. And what you're aiming for is to slot this in, not at the back. You're aiming to slot it in like above. So like above. Let's say like halfway between where those poms are. So it's you've got wool here and it's halfway in, and you've got wool at the top as well. So that's what you're aiming for. Okay, it's not all the way at the back. It's not all the way at the front. You're hiding the edge of the badge basically. These are still paper, so if you're hanging them outside for any length of time, you know, check the weather. They're not going to do well in the rain. But they'd be okay for if you were just putting it out there for a couple of hours to say, this is where the party's at. And then move it indoors. I mean, you know, you don't need to ruin it for that occasion. So yeah, once you've got your badge in place, you know, I wouldn't take it back out to put the glue on. I really wouldn't. Leave it where it is. Check your poms aren't covering your writing, but, you know, just move them afterwards. Keep the badge where it is, don't move it now. You're gonna, well, I'm on video for you. Really thought I would have switched the glue gun on before we needed it by now, but I haven't again. So we're gonna let that heat up again. Okay, I really should have done that sooner. So, but this is what you're gonna get. This is your wreath. Your numbers that I said I wasn't gonna stick on. Mostly because I'm better off leaving this as one that could be picked, really. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, so this is your basic, very basic wreath. I'm just gonna get up for a minute and just see if I can find some embellishments that would work well on this. I don't think you need to overdo this one at all. But I will show you if there is some option. So that just let me get up and see whether or not there is whether I've picked up something that would work well. I was actually looking for something specific here, but I'm not coming across it. That's because I'm looking in the wrong place. So the one I was thinking of that I've picked up on my mooch around all of the stores are these alcoholic bottles. So you would simply, like, they come on sticky tabs, but I really wouldn't rely on those sticky tabs. I would just take them off, leave the tab on, but put a spot of glue on that tab and then stick it on. I mean, they probably would look quite nice on all of the white ones, maybe. I'm not gonna show you specifically with this, but you know, you can zhush them up if you want to, but I don't think you really need to overdo it with this. So yeah, that's an option if you do want to put some extra bits on. Okay, just going to make sure our badge is still sitting where we want it to be. Okay, now we're going to put the glue on the back because we don't want to be covering the whole of the front in glue when we've deliberately tied a load of knots. So I'm just going to lift the strings of the poms that are going near it, and then I'm going to push down on those poms so that they are attaching to this wreath. So I'm pulling them back. I'm putting glue as close to the edge as I can, and then I'm pushing the pom down onto the card, which is gonna anchor it in place. Now it isn't gonna be really well fixed into place, and that's sort of deliberate because once this occasion is done, you're not necessarily going to want a I'm 50 on there forever, really. So once the occasion's done, you could basically push through this badge from the back to the front, and it should just come straight through. If it's not coming straight through, just chop where it's stuck on. Just chop off the wool that is keeping it there, and then you'll just have a black and white celebration wreath. And actually, you could use that again, or you could recycle it and use it for somebody else's gold and black themed party. Okay, so the whole idea is that actually you could pull this out of the middle, which is why we've not really we've stuck it in, but we've not made sure it's never coming off again. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. I'm just making sure that I've actually gone round all of the poms without really getting the glue gun on the computer, but you know, there's a chance. Okay, so there we go. I think that is, yes it is, it's the last pom to stick on there. Now, glue guns are fast, but they don't cool instantly, so just make sure you don't touch anything that could be hot because it will hurt. Yeah, okay, so it's in. It's not never coming out again, deliberately, so you can push it through if you I'd say push it through from back to front if you're trying to remove it. Okay, so that's it. That's basically it. You're gonna have a number in the middle here, and I'm very tempted to put one on, but I don't want to kind of make it, you know, make it someone's right. I'm gonna call it an 18th, just because I think, you know, it's I don't know, I just like the idea of it being black and gold 18th. So yeah, there you are. See, right, so we got our 18th in the middle there. Now when you're putting this badge in, you do need to make sure that your happy is the right way up and that you haven't randomly stuck it upside down, because I've done that quite a few times already, and you do have to take them off and start again. Take the badge off, sorry, not the whole wreath. It's not hanging exactly straight, so you might want to readjust where your loop is. Your loop will it will slide a bit, and if it won't, just chop it off, put it on again. So yeah, see, there we go. We've slid it round. Okay, so that is your black gold celebration wreath. We've got white on there. I don't think it needs the white, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go and put it on our hook like normal, and then I'm gonna do some dodgy filming to get you over to the hook. Yeah, and we'll go from there. So that's taken the best part of an hour, and it's because you are having to tie all these poms on individually. Like I've made quite a mess of this room now, as you can see. So I'm gonna have to jump across stuff to get to where I'm supposed to be going. So yeah, we'll take off the one I did yesterday. Put on today's. Okay. There we go. Right, so now we're gonna do my dodgy bit of filming, and I'll take you over to see the wreath. So here we have. Whoop, see what I mean? I'm going to fall over the stuff that's on the floor because I've got too much on the floor. Yeah, 18th. Happy 18th birthday on a simple white string, gold, black, and white. So yeah. Again, we're designing your own, so if you don't like the white, like I don't like the white, just tell us to take them off. Okay, so that's our, what are we now? That's our fourth video in our series of the first 7 days of us starting up. I hope you're enjoying them. I know that they're potentially getting very long-winded now. So just join in to see what we're doing, join in to see what it looks like at the end, to be honest. You really don't need to watch it start to finish unless you are following it, copying it. So yeah, end of day 4. That's basically all I had to tell you about that one. Yeah, we're gonna come back tomorrow with another. I'm not sure what yet, so wait and see. Hope you're enjoying them. Leave us a message if you are. Yeah, so see you again. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Bye.